Hi everyone. Hope you're well. Hope you've had a good day. Please type in the chat box that you can hear me loud and clear, please. And then we won't waffle on for 5 or 10 minutes without you being able to hear me, and more importantly, waste your time. So please, if you can do that, that'll be great. We can get started. We've got tons of content to get through. Lots of new stuff you may not have heard about in the service accommodation arena. Thanks, guys. Okay, so a few of you have said that you can hear me, so I'm guessing that that means all of you can hear me. So I'm going to, please, if you've got any questions as we go, fire them away into the chat box. I do have a little bit of a cold at the moment, so if I annoyingly cough every now and then, I do apologize ahead of time. Now, I've said that I'm going to cough loads, but I haven't coughed that much in the last 24 hours. So, right, I'm going to share a PowerPoint. Please, it's not death by PowerPoint. Ask questions. I'm not just going to sit here and read everything that's on there. We did a bit of a survey as well about what it is that you guys like. And some of you said you want a 2-hour webinar. Most, I think it was 78%, said that you want a 1-hour webinar, but you're happy to go over if there's no bullshit and crap and mollycoddle. Well, those who know me on here, we don't really spread bullshit. We say it how it is. If I swear every now and then, please send me a tap on the wrist. But that's me getting a bit passionate. So let's get started. Time is ticking away. Okay, so I'm just going to share my screen. So there we go. You can see that as well. There we go. So I won't go full screen yet until you tell me you can see it. Good. Okay. If you can't see it, sometimes it takes a few seconds just to refresh. That's all, but it will come. Trust me. It's not what I want you to look at. I want you to listen what I'm talking about. You can take screenshots if you want some of the information, whatever you want. It's up to you. But the key is here. I'm not going to sit here and read slides. So let's get hammering. Okay, so we are Wealth and Success. Emmanuel's not here. He's off to Thailand. He travels a lot. He's my business partner. But we are Wealth and Success Academy. We started over probably 18 months ago now. It's going really well. We're really thankful for the support that we get. We're not one of these massive, big campaign people out there trying to flog every freaking property course there is, because, quite frankly, we're a lot busier with our own stuff. But this is good. We like to share and help. So let's get started. Now, there's a statement. The serviced apartment industry, it is an industry in itself. Yes, it's a property strategy because you're using property, but we're in the service industry. So the serviced apartment industry is rapidly expanding worldwide. As more travelers, both business and leisure, recognize the benefits of this dynamic sector. Now, the key word there is dynamic sector, meaning that it is changing rapidly and growing rapidly. When we first started, you know, some people were getting into it, doing a bit of this, doing a bit of that. More people were getting into it. And I can tell you this now. Lots and lots of people are fucking this up, and they are failing, and they are falling by the wayside like dead flies, which I don't like on one hand, but on the other hand, I favor because it's good for us who are doing this professionally and doing this the right way. Now, I know a lot of people who've gone out and done courses, and whether it's them or whether it's what they're taught or whether it's their action, whether it's their business ability, or I don't know what it is, or what they're getting mixed up with. They thought it was a lot easier. They thought it was a lot harder. I don't know. But we find even in our area that we're now looking at apartments that are already set up for service accommodation. And the agent is saying, oh, this one was already used as service accommodation. You can use it again. Bang. Alarm bells. What area is it in? Yes, it might be in the city that I work in, but what's the location? What's it near? Is it near certain spots? And we'll cover more of that, because I can tell you now, the biggest downfall of people in this industry is location, 100%. So if you live in an area and you think it's going to work and it doesn't work, then you need to move. If you don't want to move, then jump off the webinar now and, go and relax because you're not that serious about this. Or get with a business partner who does live in an area that works well. And then that will work and you can go 50-50. And believe me, making 50-50 in a really good area, I go 50-50 with my JVs because, quite frankly, I don't have the time to go out and do all the legwork. So I do anything that I can do on the computer, which means I can do that anywhere in the world. And then I split 50-50. But I can tell you this, we've got the right location. I'm not going to tell you what location it is, but we've got a perfect location. There's 2 perfect locations that I'm working in. And you'll hear later as we go on what makes a perfect location. Believe me, Bradford, all those little spots up north, places down south that you never heard of or you might have heard of, Kings Lynn and bloody Norfolk and those sort of places. I know people who are set up there. You're not going to make a lot of money. I started off in Peterborough, £400-500 a month profit. That's cat's piss. You don't want to do that for this. My business partner, who is on here now, and he can vouch for it, I've got 2 with him alone in one area, and we paid each other half each for the profit. And we have a pay system from the 16th to the 16th, and he got $3.5 grand payout profit for the last 30 days up to the 16th. He's now going to have, I shouldn't tell him, he's now going to have a similar payment, if not more, for the next 30 days as well. And for the 30 days before that, I think he was on about $2.5 grand profit. That's 50%. So now here we go. Back up my bullshit, as we say. Nobody wanted any bullshit. So far this year, Airbnb, a lot of people dog Airbnb, but do it at your peril, because I reckon that 60% of our bookings come from Airbnb. We are not in London, so we don't operate in London. So far this year, Airbnb has already accommodated more than 50 million guest arrivals, which puts the company on track to pass 100 million this year, up from 80 million in 2006. 20 million more for one booking engine alone. And there's 40 or more of them. That's incredible. And then, they've got 15% of the entire, what we call house sharing market, which is, we'll see the different types of accommodation as we move along. So is that exciting? Yes, hot shit. The industry is growing at a phenomenal rate. The hotels are crapping themselves. Now, what the hotels are starting to do, some more information for you, is they are starting to look at what we call the millennials. The millennials are kids that were born from 2000 onwards. And guess what? 17 bloody years old this year, 18 years old next year. And they've actually said to a load of students, surveyed a lot of students globally, and they've said to them, hey, what's a nice hotel for you? And they said, look, we want somewhere that we don't really care about the room. We don't want to hang out in the room. We want to hang out in a nice groovy lounge area and that sort of thing. And the W Hotel comes to mind. There's some other funky hotels come up in Shoreditch. A lot of them, if you go to Germany, all the funky hotels and Scandinavia, the rooms are not particularly that comfortable to stay in. The beds are, but they're not designed for you to stay in the rooms. They're designed for you to get out local areas and go and hit the fastest Wi-Fi on the planet and talk to each other via a smartphone or whatever it might be. And they just want little cool hangout rooms. And this is a survey that they've done in the Marriott Hotel. The organization worldwide is now starting to look at the millennials. And Airbnb, maybe the older generation are doing it. We did a survey in some of our areas and we asked people, young students, said, if you had to go and stay in this city, what hotel would you stay in? And I can tell you this, that I reckon 8 out of 10 of them all said, no, mate, no, I'd go Airbnb. So Airbnb is also the choice of the youngsters, let alone Booking.com, which brings in a lot of the business stuff as well, and international travelers. And then we asked and they actually said, and I said, well, where would your parents stay? And they said, they use Airbnb. So, and that's for our area. So it's a bit like Skype, I guess, years ago, and only the students use Skype. So maybe the students know something we don't. So types of service accommodation. Serviced apartment, self-contained apartments, normally within a residential building, which is pretty much what we go for, right? They may not be staff on site. The operator may arrange to meet guests on arrival, make keys available via a safety deposit box or via a key lock box, whatever it might be. Might offer keyless entry via smartphones or other, like the smart locks and that type of thing. Smart locks are good because you can see when the cleaner's been in and whoever else has been in, that type of thing, because you can give them a separate code. And guests can have a 24-hour access to a helpline. Now, that's up to you if you want to offer 24 hours. We don't. I would cut it off at 8 o'clock, but that's the way we are. When we've got things in place where, our terms and conditions and everything, that we give that all to them up front, so they know exactly what they're getting into when they sign that. And then with the 24-hour helpline, you can offer that, but be careful because you get certain people who will just call you all the time. They're just pains in the ass. I think somebody just went to jail, actually, for calling the 999 service about 30,000 times, wasting their time. So every now and then you may get someone pop up and do that. So be careful. Apart hotels. Now, this is interesting as well. So Nigel, who is currently sunning himself in Cyprus for his wedding anniversary, and I'm not sure if he's on here. I can't see at the moment. But God bless, mate. Well done. Happy anniversary. And he deserved this holiday because he started off in November. He came to our service accommodation masterclass. And then by, I think it was February or March, might be March, he had gone live with 25 apartments spread over 2 separate buildings, one in one area, one in another area. One area was highly business, one area was highly tourist. And he has, in effect, 2 apart hotels. Although he doesn't have the 24-hour reception, he'll have people locally who will offer that 24-hour service. So you can also offer additional facilities like a communal lounge if you want to, if that building has that. So what I'm saying is, if you get the chance to take on an entire building, snap it up. But it has to be the right area, the right criteria. There must be demand for it, and I'll go through that as we go along. So some operators call their apartment suites. You can do that. You can do that within an apart hotel, and you can advertise, your suite, if you like. If it's like a 2-bedroom flat within the building, and you have other 1-bedrooms, that type of thing, you could call, the 2-bed or the 3-bed a suite, and you charge more for that. Good. Corporate housing. This is one that not many people have really heard about, because too many people have got their heads up their asses and listening to people like me or other people out there stuck in the Facebook terminology, I guess, of all the forums, where you just say apart hotel or service accommodation or whatever, or service apartment. So corporate housing is an awesome way, and you need to be able to get in contact with your local companies. And there's a brilliant way to do that, a very simple way to do that. You can get a list of everyone within that company very easily, and you can start to market to them. And I've done a webinar on it before. If you want to have a look, you can go on our YouTube channel, Wealth and Success, and have a look. I don't have time to go through that today. So this can be a furnished apartment or a house made available for rent or lease on a temporary basis, usually 30 days or more, which brings the VAT down to 4% as well. Woohoo, yippee-yippee-doo. The corporate travel world has long seen the advantage of this kind of accommodation for executives, mostly executives, on longer business trips or during relocations, because sometimes they'll have somebody come here, like a C-level guy, they'll come and take over from the US or whatever it is. So you can find different channels out there that you can advertise this on for corporate housing. I'm not going to tell you what they are right now, but they're all available out there. You won't get it by Googling. No longer... and they allow the traveller a more normal way of life outside, because sometimes when they're relocated, they come in with family as well. So do not turn your nose up at 3-bedroom properties as the entire property. A lot of people say go in one bedroom. I stay away from 1 bedroom because they're a load of shit and they don't give us enough money. 2 beds, yes, they give us some money, plenty of money, and 3 beds are unique, So keep it to yourself. Don't tell too many people. And they can sleep 8 people. And they're fantastic. They really are. And you can give everyone their own bed, even if it's 4 people coming to stay. You charge a little bit more. But you've got to offer an experience. It's not about price. It's not about the room and this and that. It's about experience. And people these days love technology. And that's all I'm going to say, because Tony will kill me if I tell you about the technology that we're using. So I'm not going to do that, because we want to stay one step ahead of the curve. There's very few people I share that with. But, hey, it's normally the people I mentor. And it's fantastic. It's amazing. And it was actually Tony's idea. So hats off. Well done, Tony. Tony's thinking outside the box as well. So relax, and they plan their time away from the hotel operating hours. Excellent. So basically it's a home from home. That's how you need to market it for corporate housing. But you need to get in touch with companies direct. And you're going to have to get some accreditation for that, because they may ask for that. Cash flow, that's what we're here for, right? So please, as I said, don't piss around with £400, £500 a month profit, because you don't need to. Get the right area. You want to be making, on average, £1,000 a month spread over the year, even though January is dead. But if you get into corporate housing, people, listen to this, get into some corporate housing, that will make your Monday, your January and your Monday, that could make your January a nice, big, full, 100% occupied apartment or corporate house, whatever it is, simply because people have Christmas at home where they are, and they say, look, we'll start in January. It's the new year. That's when they start. Good thinking, 99. I agree. Thank you. So there are 7 simple steps, and I know a lot of you on here are experienced and some aren't, but for those who aren't, identify and assess your area, identify properties, conduct viewings, present offers, sign agreement for 3 years plus, complete refresh if needed, install any fire safety if needed. It could just be new smoke detectors, that type of thing. And we put in heat detectors as well. And you fill with tenants or fill with guests. So identify and assess your area and include micro areas. Now, in our area where we operate, in the 2 areas, and they're very similar in their demographics. Now, I spent a while looking at it, at both of them, visited them many times. One's quite a long way away from me, and one's closer. The reason I can work in those areas is because I have people on the ground. Now, if I said to you now, okay, tell me about your area. Now, if you're not serious about this, then you're just going to say, oh, yeah, I live in I don't know, High Wycombe near London, or I live in Staines, or I live in Windsor, or I don't know where else you could live. I live in Birmingham. I live in wherever. Now, Birmingham's a bloody big city, as is London. Now, if I were to look in my area, and we did this, and we could have made the mistakes, but we didn't, because Tony knows the area. And I said to myself, right, let's have a look where we can go. We did viewings in apartments. They were beautiful apartments, river views, the type of thing that you want, right? Yeah. But then Tony pointed out, he's like, Ash, this is too far away. Well, why is it too far away? And we walked it. We walked it at a pace, and it took us 20 minutes to get into the centre where everything's happening. And I'm going, mate, you're right. Because if they bring kids here, kids, if anyone's got kids, and if they're 2 years old or a year old, they get tired and want you to pick them up, you're not going to want to do that every day. So we said to ourselves, okay, what's a good rule? Saying, okay, well, let's work on, 10 minutes to a stretch, maybe 11, 12. But ultimately, if we can be 5 minutes, man, that's perfect. So, okay, no problem. So we looked and looked and looked, and we thought, man, we just can't get anything in here within the 10 minutes because it's so hard to get. And demands for the rentals, and we're talking rent to rent, demands for the rental are high, because not just for service accommodation, but people want to live there, right? People who I call normal renters, and also students and that type of thing. So we found it tough at first, but then we went around the agents, kept going, kept seeing them. Then they started bringing us properties, and boom, boom. Properties, here we come. Now, we've turned down quite a few as well because, and I'll tell you this, myself and Tony, and also other areas that I'm looking at, we said to ourselves, we made a political decision not to take anything that wasn't freehold. So leasehold's okay, but it does have its risks. So we went freehold, and one property that we have is it's a period home, and it's a 3-bed property. It could be 4, but it's a 3-bed property, and we lock off the loft and we use it as storage. Now that property, in 6 months, we have billed over £50,000 in 6 months. And we didn't bill anything until February, actually. So yeah, 6 months. Another one we have taken on is a detached house, but it's like an upside down apartment. So the bedrooms are downstairs with en suites, and then upstairs is a living area. So it feels nice, fresh and open, and you're high up. And there's also one of only 2 in this offset area to the back of the road. So our reviews say 5 minutes to the centre, great, 5-minute walk, and 2-minute walk to one of the major attractions, which they always talk about. And although very close to the city, very quiet at night because it's offset, it's private, no one goes in there. And we have CCTV on all of our properties without fail. And that actually came in handy the other day because the person in the other house next door, they were throwing a ball around with his mate, and the ball, albeit a tennis ball, was coming up and hitting our property. So Tony, bless him, gets straight onto the CCTV because he can talk to them and says, guys, you're not supposed to be playing ball games. I'm talking, this is like 10:45 at night. And we had a guest in there, which is why I was worried, because we get alerts when somebody moves in front of our building, and motion detection. And then I said, Tane, can you call it? Because I was quite angry, so I didn't want to deal with it because I would have said something I didn't want to. And it was going to be on CCTV, and we used that for the owner of the other building because sneaky us, we want that other building too. So we're gonna have both of them because it's such a good location. And that's already billed 15 grand, and we only opened that up we took it on in June. So good, huh? So yes, more of that later. Identify properties, call to book viewings. So when you're identifying the properties, for me personally, stay away from one beds because you are competing yourself with local hotels, albeit the average size of a 1-bed flat is probably 30% bigger on average, and these are documented figures, not me making it up, larger than a hotel room. Now, is that enough? Is that enough? I'd want twice the size. And you can get large 1-bedroom properties with amazing views and that type of thing, but you're going to pay for them. So, you want to be probably 20% under the hotel rate as well. And I don't know if you're going to be able to do that in a lot of areas. So where we make our money, our biggest profit is on the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th person. Some of our properties we're getting £500 a night, and we're not in London, getting £500 a night. And the last one we got, 8 people booked over 2 nights, 494, I think it was, per night. So good, nice. And they're not there; they're out because they're tourists. And the good thing about tourists is, and business people, they're not there during the day. They come home at night to bloody zonk. So we don't get any party goers simply because we're not in a party town. And that's not what we try to, and our terms and conditions are very strict. So we're very vocal about what will happen if these terms and conditions are broken. Getting to know agents in your area is your number one priority. And the only way you're going to get to do this is to get off your ass, go out, walk out and see them and meet them and greet them. Now, we do have an email that we send them as well, so we get them calling us, begging us for business. But once you've sent that email, you still need to get out and see them because they want to see who they're dealing with. And you need to, in your area, you need to, again, get off your ass and walk the area. You know, I've gone through so many bloody pairs of trainers and people who my students that I mentor who come out with me. I think they get quite fit and they tell me how many steps they've done. I think my student yesterday, Rashid, did over 10,000 steps and we're only there for about 4 hours. But we walked the area and I took him to an area that he wanted to work in. And I got there early, spent an hour looking around. I'm like, no chance, nothing happening here. And this is like a hot spot in London. And I said, right, I wanted you to come here because I want you to experience the feeling that you get around here. And I want you to convince me of what you know of this area. I want you to convince me why we should set up service accommodation here. And that was about it, really. There was something about football or this type of thing. And I said, okay, let's shut up shop. Let's pack up. Let's get on the tube and go to an area which I recommended to him, the first one. And it's just been in the press as well. All good news for us. And as soon as we got out of the train, off the train, I said, right, look at my watch. It was like 11:24. I said, right, let's start timing it. Got out, strolled to the key area, walked a little bit further, looked at my watch, and I go, right, bang, 10 minutes. This is as far as we can go. And it just so happens that we came to a little river crossing, and then that was the bridge. And I said, that's your landmark. No properties past there. And I mean no properties past there. Absolutely no negotiation. Because I said to him, do you want to make money or do you want to be mediocre and fuck around with the rest and give up in 12 months or 2 years? Because no, we're professionals and we want to make the most money for the least amount of effort. And we want it to be sustainable. And this area that we went to is sustainable. We walked around, we had lunch there. We spoke to some agents. We sent some emails out. We got some viewings. And at the end of it, I said, so now I want you to sell me this area for SA. He looks at me, he's like, well, I don't need to. Hey, there we go. Done. And then he did sell it to me anyway. So there we go. So I'm agreeing with 3 years if it's through an agent because they don't want to sign deeds, preferably longer. We like to do 6 months and 6 months. So we like to have break clauses of 6 months both ways. You might say, oh, but your landlord might pull the bloody pin. Put it this way. When we take on a property, we take on properties that are only investment properties. We never take on a property where the owner is moving out. They might come back in a year or two because they've done a secondment overseas. Only take on investment properties you know they will never, ever live in. And they will keep that property forever and a day while we're giving them their money every single month without fail. Bingo. Another little tip for you. Basic, logical shit, but hey, that's the way it is. That's how we operate. So research your area and then research again. Keep doing it. Now, here's some figures that you can get off a website that's commonly known out there as www.something.co.uk. I can't remember exactly right now. So what I want you to look at here is seasonality. And you can see that we have the most people between April and sort of September. Now, you then go down to the journey purpose. Number one, holiday. Number two is business, although VFR is number two, but we don't count that because VFR is visiting friends and family. Where do they stay? With friends and family, not in a hotel or service accommodation. So what would our focus be? I know that I'm not trying to tell you to suck eggs, but people don't know this. We run our business on analyzing data. That's it, data analysis. Show us what's real, and then we will show you if a business is sustainable there. And this is how we work. We also do a lot more business with other websites, looking for different areas and looking for the average occupancy rate for hotels and service accommodation in the area. And lots of places do surveys on the areas, especially if they're high tourist areas, which is what we love, because there are also business attractions there as well. So, a little sip of water before I lose my voice. I feel like that Floyd guy from the TV show, but it's not wine, the cook. So we want to attract both holidays and business, which are tourists and business travelers or corporates. So remember, I talked about corporate housing. Does that fit into there? Damn straight. Holidays, holiday lets, etc., and tourists. Now, duration of stay. You can see the majority are 4 to 7 nights with a close, 1 to 3 nights with a close second of 4 to 7. So we are mixed up within the 1 to the 7, correct? But then we also have, you see the 15 nights plus, which is where you get the corporate housing, etc., that type of thing. You can see there's a large amount there. Now, it's not as much as what we're looking at, but you're going to need a lot more of the 1 to 7 nights per stay than you will for the 30 nights or 15 nights, right? 15 nights, you get 2 of those back to back. That's your month taken care of. And don't start dropping your pants and reducing it by 30%, etc. Because I can tell you this, you'll get to a stage where you hit 85 grand and you're going to have to start paying VAT, V-A-T, value, apparently, added tax. There are ways to bring this down, such things as TOMS, the margin scheme, and other ways. But again, that's another day. We do teach that on a course. Now, this is important here. Please listen carefully. I hope you are listening so far carefully. Now, China, as you can see there, top 10 values by market on the right-hand side. Now, this is 2015. I can tell you that has now doubled in 2017. If you walk around in your area, as I requested you to do, and we did it yesterday, I do it in my areas, the 2 areas, I walk around. Now, this is not singling out a single race. This is not racism in any way. This is purely business. This is looking at what I see as the demographic and who I should target for my business, because I want 100% occupancy and I want people to stay a minimum of 5 nights. That's the ultimate for me. That means I'm making £7,000–8,000 a month from my properties. Now, China come at the moment, August they seem to travel a lot. We get lots of people in August in our properties. And then December, little sneaky trick for you, December is when the Chinese love to travel again. Don't wait till December because they're booking now. So your rates might want to go up a little bit in December. And if you try to book a hotel in December, you will notice in the high tourist areas that all of their rates are a little bit higher. And yet everyone out there thinks December shit, January shit. Well, you listen to those people if you don't want to make any money, because they're the groups who sit on the bloody the freaking Facebook groups all day, not doing any work, just bitching about each other and bitching about everyone else. Get out there, start reading this shit, look for data that's going to help your business. Give up the fucking keyboard warrior shit. Get into your business. Work on your business, and I promise you, you will make a lot more money, and you'll also sleep better at night. Good. You can see the French. They love to visit. The Americans love to spend. And that's French, US, Germany. All of these people, Irish Republic, a lot of those are business travelers as well. Hook into it. So a bit about planning. This is how quickly I'm going to talk about planning. You will need C1, which is hotels, guest houses, motels, whatever you want to call it, B's and B's. C3 is residential. Now, copy this, read it, memorize it, and you won't have to worry about this shit again. This is outside of London. C1, regardless of dwelling type, if the property is rented by individual rooms, so if you want to rent out an HMO in London, you're going to need C1. Effectively, in a way, you do need C1 anyway, but you know, hey, there are thousands of service accommodation properties in London that do not have C1. People will bullshit you to say they do have C1. They don't. They're breaking the rules. But that's the way it goes. And c'est la vie. So booked out by individual rooms like hotel per night, or C3 if rented out as an entire home apartment per night, much like a buy-to-let. Now, that allows us to do service accommodation, allows us to do apart hotels, although I'd get a apart hotel probably put into a C1, but you don't need to. But if it was in London, 100%. And then the corporate housing, beautiful. If you've got a house and you want to go away for a month and you don't have money for the bloody holiday, I'll tell you what, go away for a month, stay with a mate, rent your house out, make 5, 6, 7 grand for the month, come back. Your mortgage might only be $1,000 if you own a house, but we're talking rent to rent here. But hey, if your mates are doing it, take their house off them. Or your friends. Say, why don't you go away for a month for Christmas? I'll even pay for it. You'll still make a couple of grand profit. Lots of ideas for you. So, goldmine area. Have events in the area or tourist attractions. These are your gold. When we say gold mine, this is your gold shit. Center of the town or city. So when I say gold mine is where you've got lots of business travelers as well, right? But tourists and events attraction, that's the gold dust. Not fool's gold, the gold dust you sprinkle on top. The center of the town or city. You don't want to be walking 15, 20 minutes out. Oh, but it's lovely. Bullshit. I don't give a shit if it's lovely. It's too far. There may be large business nearby, suitable supply of properties and guests, obviously. 2 to 3 bed work best, but don't tell anyone about the 3 beds. New or refurb properties. Don't go after this bullshit about distressed properties because it doesn't work. You're going to have to spend money and it's never right. We took on one. Fortunately, Tony was just a legend and he's a maintenance guru and the place looks unbelievable. But it took us 4 weeks, which is why we took it over in January. We couldn't do anything until February. Thank God that we built over 50 grand in that property. And it still looks today like it did the day we took it over. And it's amazing. And it's, you know, hands off to Tony. You're doing a superb job. So refurb properties, which means that we will take on a period home. Now, why would you take on a period home, Ash, you dickhead? Well, I can tell you this. Tourists love period homes. But don't tell anyone I told you. So click on JV partner anywhere you want. As long as you go there, visit the area 2 or 3 times, get a feeling for it, then you'll know. If you put money into someone's JV, you don't want to bloody be pissing it up against the wall. You've got to make sure it's going to work. So what to say to agents? Professional or holiday lets is what we tend to talk about. I can tell you this now that more and more agents we talk to, they will actually turn around and say, "Oh, you're going to be doing service accommodation?" "Yeah, that's right." "Oh, cool, I've got some apartments for you." Explain that we have clients in the area who require long and short-term lets, but we will always be the tenants and we require a minimum of 3-year lease. The property is cleaned and checked daily. It may be cleaned every 2 days and may be cleaned every 5 days. You need to let them know that there will be a delta and some dynamics on there. High security and checks all done. Insurance via Airbnb. There are other, like Home Away, they offer it now as well. Other people are offering more insurance. Not really an insurance policy with Airbnb. You do have to fight nail and tooth to get it. But if you have your right terms and conditions in place, you'll never have to worry about it. Touch wood, fingers crossed and all that. We've never had an issue with any of ours. Showroom condition and long term is for us. And you must get yourself ready before you go and see or speak or listen, more importantly, to an agent. Now, the way we get ready is you must get your physiology ready. You must stand up, be ready for business. Shake off any crap, any depression or whatever. Put any tablets away. Forget it. This is not the day for that. We're going out. We're fired up. And then you must be focused. Right, what is it that I want from the day? What is it I'm trying to achieve? And go in there with that dead super sharp, lasered focus, knowing that's what you want. No one else will be able to even put on blinkers, nothing. They won't be able to come near you when you're focused. Just like a boxer, when he gets into the ring, he knows he's got to knock the other guy down. If he doesn't, he's going to get knocked down. So this is you. You're the boxer. You're going in there. Fight. Let's hit. Bing, bing, round one. Agent one. And then your language or your tone. So your language, you don't want to sound, hey, man, you don't want to sound like an arrogant little shit. You want to be in it and sound confident. So you need to have your knowledge about the area. This is why your research is important. And your tone could be, you match somebody's tone. Hey, how you going? Hey, man, how you going? Or if somebody, excuse me, here comes that cough. If somebody talks, a bit softer to you, you need to match their tone. But don't make it so obvious. And somebody who talks quietly is more attuned to relationships. So they're not a vocal person. They're not a like a visual person where they have to write stuff down. So if you walk in and you see an agent, he starts to write down, or she starts to write stuff down, you know that they're a visual person. They need to see stuff. So get your phone, take out your photos of everything that you've got, show them fucking everything on your phone of all your apartments. Just get them to print off, your terms and so this is how we operate. Show it to them. Or if they come in and they're writing something, they put their pen down and they sort of lean forward a bit, like almost like pointing their ears to, yes, can I help you? Then they're a listening person. They want to hear what you've got to say, but don't talk too much, because sometimes a listening person likes to sound their own voice too. And like I said, if somebody's a little bit quiet, this is a little bit of NLP for you. If somebody's quite quiet, they might seem a bit reserved. Then these people are going to take 2 or 3 or maybe more meetings to actually get to know them. And if you can be bothered by doing those extra few meetings, then they will get to know you. You'll build rapport, and then bingo, you'll get some deals. Hope I didn't make a jump. So practice the key points, and remember, features tell, benefits sell. I have a red Ferrari, so what? I don't, but I have a red Ferrari, so what? It goes faster, sir, and it will attract much more women to your middle-aged spread, blah, blah, blah. Or it could be a woman who's got it, and they might say it will actually turn away the middle-aged spread. Funny, funny. Refresh and dressing. Right, we're getting through it. Whew. I'll answer your questions at the end, troops. Pick your standards and levels. Do you want to do budget? You want to do average? Or do you want to do high end? You want to make money? Lots of money? Go high end. That's where you're going to make the most money, from my experience. Entire property must all be dressed at all times, just like it was when you had the photos taken, unless obviously somebody's staying in there. Must be to absolute showroom condition, so paint any dull surfaces as you're going. And Tony, by the way, in one of ours, I noticed up the stairs there's a little scuff. It might need a paint. There you go. People taking their bags up and that type of thing. Fitting sheets, furniture based on the level. High end, you want some nice high cotton thread. We use a couple of different linen providers. We do the first one we purchased, and they give us a discount on the actual linen. And then the second one, we just hire. And they've messed up once. But to me, I don't care if you mess up. It's how you fix the shit. And they fixed it immediately. They said to Tony, right, we'll give you this, give you that. Done. Sweet. So we use them as well. And we're thinking of actually changing everything to them. So we've tried both. Good. Key locks and CCTV. We use CCTV and we also use key locks. But I can tell you this as well. If we can, during the hours of daylight or before Dracula awakes at midnight. So before sort of 10 o'clock, if you like. 10 o'clock's kind of our lockout. We would actually do a face-to-face check-in. Now, we don't have to. We can automate everything if we want. And everyone says, automate, automate, automate. And you can if you want to automate. But if you want superb freaking reviews where every, I don't know, I reckon it's 80% of the reviews. Young Tony gets a mention, and how fabulous Tony was. Tony is Tony that. I think I've only had a mention once, but I don't do the check-ins. And Tony's helped them all sorts of stuff, help them with cases, get them to the airport, all sorts of stuff. And this is why on Booking, we've got 9.5s and 9.7s, which are exceptional. So well done, Tony. So if you're really deadly serious, you need to either do your own check-ins or get someone on the ground to do them, and you need to get a little pattern. This is the property, but also for those, and again, this is Tony's idea because he's so passionate about this. If you cannot make it, or if it is 12 o'clock at night, or freaking they missed the plane and the plane gets in at 6 a.m., I don't know. We also send them a video, and you can do a video via a link from a Dropbox or something like that. So they can click on the link and they can view that video. And the video is basically walking up to the property, walking to the door, showing the key box, how to open it, how to operate it, bang. Walking the door, does the door lock turn left or does it turn right? Tell them. The one I'm thinking with Tony, turn the door lock to the right. Hold the key in and push in, enter the room. He then goes into the right. This is the lounge room. This is the kitchen here. This is where everything is. Goes upstairs. The bedrooms are here. Bedrooms are here. If there's any little quirks, he shows them that. This is the garden. These are the French doors. This is where you can sit at night. These are the light switches. Here's the spare key for the back door. Blah, 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 blah. So if they do get in late and they've got the key box, because we also send them instructions on that on a PDF, which you can also view in the Dropbox. So we've got a whole Dropbox of videos and stuff. And then, which means they don't have to download it, they just watch it. And then they've had a check-in, a live check-in, if you like, but a virtual one with Tony gibbering on in his Kiwi language. So think about that, your little tips. You must have the best Wi-Fi available, 100%. Keep up with the latest high-end hotel trends. Now, this could be just the way they make the bloody bed. So we have stopped doing the little bloody, what do they call it, the cover? I can't remember what the cover is. So you have the quilt and then you have the cover over the top, like the quilt cover thing. You know, the different colours. Anyway, we've stopped doing that, folded at the bottom. So, and I'll show you as we go along. So pictures paint 1,000 words. So if you deliver shit, you'll get shit, right? Deliver value for money, deliver an experience of what they're looking at, walk around the area that you're in, experience it yourself, we cover that. If your property looks rubbish, you'll get rubbish, as well as deliver rubbish. You need to adjust to suit your area and the guests you want to attract. And if it's business, you need to put in printers and all sorts of stuff like that. And you can buy these awesome things now from IKEA. I have one on my desk. And they are called, if you go to IKEA, they are called Koppla, K-O-P-P-L-A, and they are a plug with 3 USB points. So if it's not your property and you can't start putting in USB points into the power, put one of these, plug it in. They can plug in 3 devices via USB and charge them, which can be a laptop, it can be their phone, and whatever else, can be the printer. So they're good. And they're about £7.50 from IKEA. I'm sure you can order them online. They're called Koppla. Maybe I'll put it in there. If you're interested, just let me know and I can send you a photo. But I'm sure you can go on there and get it. Good. Furniture and beds, etc. must not be substandard. Accommodation service industry and reviews from the public are essential for survival at the top. As to our doing check-ins. That's the way it is. If you don't like it, you're not going to make as much money. If you want to automate everything, you're not going to make as much money. That's the way it goes. Some people may dispute that. I challenge them because I know how much profit we're making, and people still have it. Oh, fucking no bullshit. You can't make that sort of money. Well, we can show you. And if you're one of our students and you want to come and look around our properties and speak to Tony for an hour, have lunch with him, I'm sure he will be more than helpful. So, business standards, as you can see on here, You don't need, it needs to look like a hotel, really. That's what people seem to like. Although we've got people coming who travel together, and 4 or 5 people from the same company coming for meeting, and they stay in the old period home. They love it. So Fusion Furniture Solutions, who we like. I don't promote them, but we like them. Or IKEA, if you have the time to build it and put all the shit together, or pay someone £10 an hour to put all your flatmates together. That means that you've got to go there, you've got to buy it, or send someone there to buy it and do all this and just piss around, basically. So our last one, I phoned up the boss at Fusion, and I said, "Oh, mate, it's Ash. Yeah, mate, there you go. Got another one, yeah. All right, I need this. That's right. Put it through, do the checklist on the email, send it back, and it was a bank holiday Monday as well. I phoned him on the Thursday. Yeah, it was the Thursday, and it was in, ready to go, flash bang, ready for the photographer on Thursday. The photographer came in on Friday because he forgot it was Thursday. Bang, it was on all the sites for the weekend. Tally ho, and that's everything, cups, glasses, you name it. Brilliant. One of my students, Ben's, looking good, nice. That's a very nice flat bed, well creased. You see none of the blankets over the top. Good, nicely set. Orchids are good. In the hot weather, they don't last long. And please, if they do drop off, replace them. A bit of colour there with the knife sets. Those knife sets have proven to discolour, so get good quality. I think they're selling John Lewis. But most of what you see here, like the canisters and all that sort of stuff, is all Fusion furniture. So here, that's what we talk about here. They look much more nice and crisp and clean and fresh. And do the karate chop on the pillows too. This is one of my students, Jimmy's. He's turned this into an apart hotel. You can see what it was. So it's not always rent to rent. And he had a vision for that. And this is the old period home that we took on. The one that I said that Tony did amazing work. You see the shithole, what it looks like there. And trying to have that vision, even the chrome lid tops. And that's what it's turned into. They're not the professional photos. I need to put those on here. But you can see it's nice, airy, brighty. It's a real nice big garden. We've got 2 lots of outdoor furniture there. That was taken Mother's Day, obviously daffodils. And there's another one. And that place there is well known in the area. Inside again, Fusion furniture, as you can see. See the front of the property. So good. That helps. Again, the orchids there. We like orchids. We like sunflowers too. Nice modern interior for that one. So how much is realistic? How much can you earn? The average, and we never want to settle for average, that you should be able to generate in your first 1 to 3 months, if you do what I ask you to do on a daily basis. You may get lucky within a month, but you will definitely get something within 3. 3 deals at £850 a month in profit. So please, we're not going to operate in any shit areas. Okay? So you need to have a think if you're operating in a shit area. So that would equate to £2,500 a month or 30 grand a year. I'm rounding it down and up. And that's a massive 153,000 over the next 5 years in profit if you take them for 5 years. It'll be less than 3, it'll be almost 100 grand, 90 grand in 3 years. Now, that's a lot of money, because if you have to go to work tomorrow and earn an extra 30,600 a year, it's going to be hard. Now, if you want to be a JV partner, it might be half that. So it's going to be 15 grand a year that you're going to earn. But because you're a JV partner, maybe somebody else doing the work for you, you don't have to go 50%. They may go 25% and you 75%. That's up to you to work out. So you can be a hands-off investor, but you need to know and learn all about this before you can tell others what they should be doing. Deals can be so much bigger with massive profits into the multi-thousands per month. I know because we get it, and I've got other students who are getting it. who was it? I was speaking to the other day. They're making like 2,800 a month. Other people are making 1,500, $3,000 a month. Some people are making less, obviously. Jeff, the koala, my Aussie mate, he's making 3, 4, 5, something like that. Thousands of pounds per month. He's in London, but again, in the right location in London, not some shitbag area. However, if you get the right area, you can generate over £5,000 per month in profit, and averaging out to £2,000 per month annually, given January or slow months, if you decide not to go into the corporate housing sector and allow that to happen in those areas. So, so if I do a quick calculation, what do we got here? We're averaging about 3.5 per month annually at the moment. Good. So, strategy, execution, success. The strategy is service accommodation. The execution is getting off your ass. The success is what you do with that. And I can tell you that the most successful people that we teach have persistence after persistence after persistence, persistence, and the ability to get off their ass. Strategy, everyone's taught the same thing. Execution, not everyone gets off their ass. Some get off a little bit more than others. And the persistence will lead to huge success. So if you have the ability to get off your ass, try now, stand up. No, stand up. Come on, stand up. Good, thank you. Now sit down. Good, you took action. Execution, well done. And now keep doing it until something happens. And you might find you'll get a tighter bum and tighter quads or whatever. But your persistence will lead to a better result. So good. Now, information alone will not get you success. You're going to have to get off your backside. Now, somebody said to me today, what would you do if you didn't have to earn money every day? Now, imagine that for a minute. So, I like earning money, right? I love it. But if we recently went on holiday I was off for about 3.5 weeks, 4 weeks. And I was chomping a bit after about 10 days, to be honest. So I'm not one of these people who can sit around and not earn money. But even though I was sitting around, we're still making money from our service accommodation, HMO rent-to-rents and other property businesses and our children's nursery and all these other sort of businesses that we do as well. So it was nice and refreshing for my wife to look at me, and I looked at her and she goes, look, we're still making money. This is my money. This is our income from a month from the nursery. This is our income from here, blah, blah, blah. So it's great. There's no better feeling than knowing that you wake up and your phone's beeped half a dozen times and you've got bookings that might total 7, 8, 10, 20 grand. It's awesome. It's absolutely fantastic. Income coming in no matter what you do, no matter where you are. Now, I know you've probably heard this before, but you have to think about this realistically. You really have to sit down and look out the window in a bit of a daydream pose and say to yourself, what would I do if I didn't have the stress of having to make money just to cover my bills, just to cover my mortgage, whatever it might be? Or I have to work overtime to get a holiday. What would it be like if I didn't have to do that? Well, I can tell you now that you don't have to do it because you do have an opportunity. But this is your business. You must treat this like a business. And we work on our business, not in our business. I told you about Tony. Tony works in the business more than I do. I work more on the business. But Tony still works on it. He's coming up with ideas for technology. He's coming up with ideas for videos, all these type of things. He's thinking out of the box because he's so passionate about it. And I know that Tony, he knows that he has to do a lot less work now for a lot more money. And he's a happy boy. This is not get rich quick. Not get rich quick. But you will get wealthy over a long term. Because to me, 10 grand a month, you're not rich. You're not rich. You're just, to me, 10 grand a month is average now, right? You're average. You want to be busting out for 40, 50K a year. We've got one student who came on our course last month, Michelle. He makes £75,000 a month profit from rent to rent alone. I'm talking HMOs predominantly, as he's starting SA now. 75 grand. Jimmy makes over 40 grand a month with a profit with a mixture of HMOs and a mixture of service accommodation. He's just taken on, what's he got? 9 rooms, four apartments. He's just taken on another, I think, a 14 or 15 room apartment, which is an old pub. So cool. And yes, now don't get me wrong. There are people who are making zero because they don't have this. They forgot about the execution. They forgot about the persistence. They've all been taught the same thing. So please, don't kid yourself that this is just going to fall out of the sky. Seek help from proven experts. We are proven. Those who have been doing this for 2 years and they're making 30, 40 grand a year, 10 grand a year, 20 grand a year, they're proven experts. They're doing it. You'll need an accountant to take care of the VAT when you hit 85 grand. You need an accountant to take care of your company. You'll need a company to be able to be successfully set up in the right way and to be credible in front of agents as well and landlords. You'll need a solicitor if you do this alone because you're going to need to get your terms and agreements sorted. If you go with us, we've got that all in place and you just top and tail it with your details. Cleaners you're going to need. Sometimes they're hard to find depending on the area. You know what I did? Tony found out it's an area, but when I was in London with some students, walked around and saw a cleaner coming into the building. Hey, hello, how are you? I said, what are you doing here? You cleaning service the pump? Yes, no problem. I said, oh, right. Can you take on some more? Yep, no problem. Can I have your card, please? Absolutely. Is it just this building you do? No, I do several buildings. Okay. Many in this building? Oh, there's quite a few. Yeah. Again, then we know that building accepts service accommodation. Bingo, 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 bingo. So that's London. It's a different story again. And hotel managers, speak to them. Speak to hotel managers. And we know a couple. They give us little tips about what's going on because they have researchers and marketers who flash down details to them. They get pinpoint information. We like that. Read, learn. And what should be on there is do. Sounds like a police song, isn't it? Do, da. But you must do, because without action, nothing's going to happen. Now, I go on holiday, I try to relax, but to be honest, I'm always switched on. I'm always thinking, what's next? Come on, let's go. Because once you're making money and you don't have to make any more, it's so freaking exciting. It's like a game. We love it. Come and join us in the game of life. So entrepreneurship is living a few years of your life like most people won't, so you can spend the rest of your life like most people can't. Now, what does that mean? It may mean that you're going to have to work 10, 12 hours. If you don't want to make that money, make a lot of money, and you want to be a passive investor, then it may take you longer to make that money. But if you're fully committed to this and you want to jump right in, you're going to have to work your ass off for a few months or a couple of years. But I can tell you what, Jimmy London's been in it for 2 years. He's on 40 grand a month. Profit might be 35 grand one month, 42 the next month, but it averages out about 40 or something like that. You can speak to him, meet him. He comes out to lots of our events. Speak to him about it. In fact, we have a London get-together each month now where all the London operators, we all meet and we talk about it. And Jimmy is one of those. And it works out really well. So, yes, that's about entrepreneurship. So what will you get from me? So we do a course. I've written a manual all about rent to rent. It's about 140 pages long. You get a masterclass day. We do exercises on the day. You don't have to participate, but if you don't, I would question your seriousness and what action you're going to take. Essential documents that you will need for service accommodation via a Dropbox. We like the Dropbox. This includes all your legal documents like your terms and conditions and offer letters. We have a specialized offer letter we put in. Obviously the calculator as well. different sort of occupancy rates and loads of different things that we take into account on the calculator to make sure that you do get an area that's going to rocket. All the legal contracts you need from my solicitor that my solicitor's done. JV partners, a lot of people meet JV partners on the day. If you don't, we have JV partners within our private group on Facebook that you are automatically eligible to join. You don't have to. Energetic training guaranteed, so you won't nod off. Trust me, you will not go to sleep. You will learn, do, read. Full follow-up support from me personally. I attend a group daily, the Facebook group, tend to it, shall I say, and lots of other people help answer. We teach both rent-to-rent HMOs and rent-to-rent SA, and SA if you want to buy properties. My business partner, Emmanuel, he's got a portfolio of 50 million. Expert in NLP, and also an expert in development and property and turning what you think is a very, very profitable property into even more profit, and you wouldn't even know where it came from. So he's a business partner that I work with Wealth and Success, and is also a good friend of mine, which helps. So we're offering today a special offer. So we're giving you the manual, 497 plus VAT. And then all of these other things that we mentioned, all included. Now, the price on those, I don't know what it would be. It'd be thousands of pounds. I know my solicitor, when your solicitor takes you out for a nice big flash dinner, you know you paid them too much. And the same for the accountant too. But you also know that they've saved you a lot of money. So the calculator is quite an extensive calculator. It's also mixed in with the rent-to-rent calculator for HMOs. So if you find a property that doesn't work for SA, it may work for rent-to-rent. If it doesn't work for rent-to-rent, HMO, it may work for SA. So we have a double dip. Give you all the scripts to the landlords. I also give you on the day, I do a role play. If nobody wants to own up or volunteer to join me, then I kind of talk to myself, but you get all the information. And sometimes we even call agents as well, plus loads more. I do have a few people coming for a refresh, and I also have Jeff the koala. He's coming to give a half-hour talk on his experience so far, and he's a guy who didn't want to really get into. He was a little bit shy about just tipping his feet in the water, I think, and now he's like, yeah, thanks for the push. So he's making a few £1,000s a month, and now he's like, I want more. And this is a guy who had no experience in service accommodation whatsoever, and very little in property. And he's going to be there talking about it. There's going to be some other experienced people as well. There's going to be a guy who works with 2 other guys of mine. They're just taking on 3 SAs. So he's an absolute beginner. So he can tell you what it's like in the last 6 to 8 weeks, and they're taking on 3. So, and they're all profitable. So there's much more. And we give you lunch and coffee and tea. So a total price of $497 plus VAT. We give 100% money back guarantee. So if you get to the morning break, 10:30, get Ash, you're full of shit, I don't like you, this is crap, not getting anything out of it, I'll give you money back and you can walk away. No questions asked. So if you do purchase today, you can bring a friend for free. If you need somebody there for backup or just to be there and keep you company, feel free to bring them. They might actually learn something. Or if you're actually serious about working with somebody, you can bring them along. It won't cost them anything. Or you can team up with somebody who you think would like the course and go 50-50. So you can get it for half price if you like. 497, what's that? 240 something quid. So you can get it for that. Good. And trust me, if you listen to this strategy, learn this strategy, execute it, and then persist until you're successful, you will change your life. That I promise you. So, how to invest right now? I will go off here. I will go on to the I can see a few of you have been asking how do I get on the course? How do I get on the course? I'm sorry. I want to teach you something first. Here we go. So let's go into here. put this offer up so you can see it. You can click on the link. It should say on your screen, 2-for-1 offer, stop wishing, start doing. Click below, click here. And if you don't have the link, I will now send it to you. Oh. Excuse me. There we go. I will put the link into the box. Thank you for those who have already done it. Here, there's the link. 2-for-1, don't forget. There we go. Okay. Thank you. Yes, you can bring a friend, as we said, on Saturday. And it's this coming Saturday. So, question, how many JV partners are there within your group? Well, it's hard to say. Yes, Abdul, you can book this tomorrow, no problem. Not a problem at all. So sorry, yeah. So how many JV partners are there? Well, that's a very open question, I guess, but also a very good question. So if you want to work with, it depends what you want to do, what you're offering. Are you offering time or are you offering money? If you're offering time, then you're looking for money. If you're offering money, then you're looking for somebody's time. So we have a good, healthy supply of both sides of that camp. Now, I will put you together if I think you will fit, because I know everyone in the group. And I know kind of people who will fit and who won't fit. And I know the extremely disciplined people who will be getting the perfect property in a perfect area if it's money that you want to put in. And if it's time that you want to put in, then I need to make sure that you are the right person for that person's money, because I need to make sure that you respect that the person giving you money is financing the change of your life, if you like, because they are financing your future income. They are financing you and your business. And the way somebody's just said, how does it work? Well, generally, and it's up to you to work out, but generally, if somebody's going to do all the work and you're going to put in the money and, you know, maybe like I do the online stuff and they do the street stuff, and I think it's only fair to go 50-50. And if you're putting in equal amounts of money, then fantastic, 50-50. Makes it super easy. If you're putting in money and somebody's putting in time, then you want to get your money back first. So I would suggest, to be fair, and make sure that that person can also get an income, is you put in 100%, but you get paid 75% of the margin or the profit until you're paid off your debt, and then you switch to 50-50. Or whatever it is you work out. There's no, that's a rule of thumb. But there is no, every single property, every single JV is completely different. So when and where are the courses? So there's one this Saturday. It starts at 9, it finishes at 6. It's intense. You're going to learn something. But we also have fun. We have a lot of fun, actually. Sometimes I shout, sometimes I whisper. Pretty much what you've got today is pretty much me. If it personality fits. If it doesn't, so I'm going to go get stuff. Got thick skin. And then they are in Peterborough at the Marriott Hotel. So if you're coming from London, you get on the train at King's Cross. Virgin train, it's one stop. It's about 47 to 52 minutes, depending on how fast the driver is. Or you can get the slower train, which is about half the cost, which takes about 1 hour and 9 minutes, but it stops about 3 or 4 times. And that's the Great Northern Railway, I think. The other one is Virgin. It used to be something else anyway. But it's one stop or 3 or 4 stops from there to Peterborough, and then it's about a 5-minute cab ride to the hotel. We put on lunch, put on coffees, that type of thing. And if you like, and a lot of people do, we can stay at the end, and I buy a few drinks. And if I have a Jack Daniels and Coke, we'll sit there and you question me, you'll get lots of more little tips. And that's how we work when we're nice and relaxed, right? We get lots more information. Okay, good. So, okay, that's the same sort of question, really. Okay. How many people in the classes? I don't want to attend a big giant class and get lost in the space. We do anywhere between sort of 12 to 20 people. We don't do any more than 20, to be fair, because you don't get that personal interaction that I think you should demand with such a complex strategy, if you like. And I say complex because there is a lot to learn. But once you've been to the course, you'll be like, right, okay. And we make it fun to learn, you know. The more you laugh in our class, the better, the more you're going to retain it. And that works. And we've actually had feedback on that it was fun and I learned so much. And then from there, yeah, so that answers that, I guess. Yeah. Cool. Will Tony be there? I don't know. Tony, I think he is coming Saturday, but I don't know. He might have something with his daughter, with schooling or something. Tony might be able to answer me. Tony, are you coming? You're famous. People want to hear from you. Maybe they don't believe me. The real Tony will now appear. Okay, it might take him a while to come there. Yeah. Okay, he's not. He might be out doing a check-in now. Yeah, maybe. Tony, if you answer. Tony Leslie, come back. I'm sure we can get him there. Yes, he will be there. There you go. That's somebody else booked on. Thanks, Tony. So Tony will be there. The koala, Jeff Mosley, the koala, the Aussie. He looks like a koala. Grey hair, grey beard, top bloke. He'll be there. He's going to give probably. We'll get him to give 15, 20 minutes each. How does that sound? And you can hassle them at lunchtime. So that'll be good. Good. Okay. Any more questions? Great webinar, no problem. You're welcome. You must have been one of the people who said no bullshit, because you've said thanks for no bullshit. Okay, good. Yeah, I don't want to read out all the thanks. Good webinar. Thanks for the info. Blah blah blah. Good. Okay. Yes, you can ask questions on Saturday. No problem at all. All right, guys. I think that's it. We're going to bring it to a close. We are minutes over time, but I'm hoping that because you're still here, that you've enjoyed it. There will be a replay that comes out so that you can capture all the information again. It is via a YouTube link, so you'll be able to watch it via YouTube. There's loads of other what do they call them? Videos, videos on YouTube as well that you can watch. Just go in there. No problem. Thank you all for your time as well. Thank you to Abdul for your time. I really appreciate and respect that this is late, and I do appreciate your time. So I look forward to meeting you guys and on the weekend, and take care. Thank you all. I'm going to end the webinar now, but you'll get your replay come out. Thanks, guys. Take care. Bye.